Hey everyone, welcome back to Nude News.
Hello, everybody.
Yay, I've got Jessie again.
Yay.
And today we're going to talk about sexual orientation. Both of us are pretty sexually fluid, so we felt to share our attraction and why we feel so open in our sexuality and how it has helped us and how we feel excited to share that, and then also just to talk about it in general. So, did you want to start?
I'm so excited.
Oh, nice. Me too.
Sure, I'll start. I'll start with saying that, reiterating that I am sexually fluid as well, which means that okay, so I would identify as polysexual. So I'm maybe not as fluid as one could get. So pansexual, meaning you're attracted to basically all genders and sexualities and kind of different expressions.
It's like, for me, it's like the soul. I identify as pansexual, that, kind of the soul is what draws me in, and it doesn't matter what's on the outside particularly.
Cool, same. I think that when I heard the word polysexual, I liked it because it meant to me that pansexual seemed too inclusive, where it was like the definition is someone who potentially may be attracted to all sexualities, expressions, and genders, and that's not the case for me. Like, I'm not attracted to someone who is entirely masculine or entirely feminine. So poly is more than one, but
Attraction,
not every attraction, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it's like the soul wants what the soul wants. The package it comes with, the genitals it's associated with, is just, the cherry on top of the fun of the soul, but it doesn't really matter to me. They both have their specialties, they both have different strengths and weaknesses to offer, and it's just like it's different flavors of yummy, delicious ice cream.
Sweet. Such a sweet way to put it. So I want to just touch on a couple of other terms, like heterosexual. We all are pretty aware of what that means. It means that people of the opposite sex find each other attractive, and only the opposite sex. Homosexual is if you find someone of the same sex attractive, and only someone of the same sex attractive. Bisexual if you find both sexes attractive. What else is there? It's like pretty much everything, right? And did you want to share a bit about your experience, like how you explored your sexuality? And
I think there's so many labels engendered into us and created in us by culture, and I think I've always known that I wasn't just attracted to, in like a heteronormative way, to like a female-bodied woman. Like, I knew there was more attraction to me. Like, I found lots of male-bodied people beautiful and kind and interesting to me, as well as female-bodied people. But I think because, like, it's so hard, there's so much pressure to suppress your sexuality, and just, like, fit into the norm and act heterosexual. They have camps to convert you to heterosexual. Like, there's so much trauma and awful things happening around this that, like, I felt like that I knew about the breakout, like, was to come out as being homosexual. Like, I still kind of only knew about a binary. It was like, well, I'm not heterosexual, I'm not just homosexual, like, and even, I don't even know if I'd known about bisexual when I was younger, because I wasn't exposed to it until I was older. The moment I was exposed to it, I was like, oh yeah, there's something fun here, like, what's happening with these people, like, what,
cool.
like, so I feel like I explored it with, I know I told you a story that you liked about the first time I received fellatio from a male-bodied person. There was, like, I was nervous, there was, like, just fear of, like, oh my god, this is the thing that everyone around me who's like had also combined collective like conditioning that this is wrong even though it's not. I was like, I kind of had all that somewhere in my head, but I was
like
also
some internalized homophobia.
So much internalized homophobia, which is like, I'm about to engage in oral sex with a male-bodied person. I'm still this way, so it's like anyone can have it. We all have maybe some of it. Anyways, I just kind of took a deep breath and was like, wow, this is a fantastic blowjob. Like, I love this. And then, like, immediately there's just such a wash of relief where I was like, it's okay. It's okay. Same sex is beautiful and delicious. And I think, yeah, just experiencing it was a really good way to, like, be like, look, proof's in the pudding.
I love what you said about how, like, you're like, oh, it's not much different. It was just like the breath was warmer. But apart from that, it was like, okay, it's just another body. Like, doesn't matter what it's.
Yeah, breath was a bit warmer and there was a little bit of scratchy beard.
Yeah.
It's just another soul with a bipedal body walking around on this earth.
Mm-hmm. I love how simply you put that. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's like society is so complicating. And if you think about something, one specific thing yourself, and simplify it to its bare roots, it's like, it's usually, you'll know your body will tell you what's right and what's wrong for you.
I love that. Yeah, we can be so heavily influenced by our culture and our subcultures. Like, I feel like even in like a homosexual space, there can be some restricting ideas and beliefs that, so once you're homosexual, that you can't have sex with someone of the opposite sex. Like, there's a pressure to be a certain way. I know in like female-bodied land, there's like a gold star lesbian who's never had sex with a male-bodied person, as if that's better. Like, and it just seems so rigid in sexuality, and it's like, not to put anyone down that feels pride in their sexuality, but at the same time, it's like, it feels very separate. Like, it separates us and limits us to only having certain experiences. A very, very close person to me recently had been making love with male-bodied people as a male-bodied person their entire life, and then met somebody in a female body that they absolutely fell in love with, they clicked with, they have the best connection, and there was like an identity crisis around that. It's like, whoa, like, okay, I've lived this way for a very long time and have had this lifestyle, and now suddenly I'm having a total new experience. But for me, I'm like, fuck yes, you're amazing. Like, you aren't sticking to what's expected of you and not exploring what could be explored with your body and with your soul and with your connection. Like, now you're deeply in love with this person that if you didn't listen to your heart but rather just went with what's expected of you, it would never have happened. So I found that really cool.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful kind of coming out again and again to yourself and to like at some point you may decide to come out to your community, but like, it's constantly happening in my own mind. It's like, oh, I didn't know I liked that, or
oh my gosh,
that tasted good. Like, it's like all these things.
Yeah.
It's never gonna end.
For me, especially, like, yeah, I'm like, oh, here's my partner, who's currently 22, 11 years younger than me, And then recently I had a partner who was 14 years older than me. Like, it's like, yeah, being pansexual, it's very, very fluid, and my partners, and I'm constantly introducing my friends and family to people that they're like, oh, okay, yep, you didn't just go for the stock standard expectation of your, community. So yeah, it's constantly coming out. That's such a fucking great term. I feel like I'm constantly coming out as well.
I mean, and it's true. Like, I feel like our internal souls don't have, they don't have a sex, they don't have an age. Like, they are omnipotent. They've always been, they always will be. That's how I think of it. And they collide. Like, our souls have collided, and yeah, there's an age difference and a sex difference, and like, it's not something that I would ever allow to limit an experience, with the exception of, as long as everyone's you know, everything is safe, sane, and consensual, it's like explore, you know, feel free that there will be those who judge you, and those people
They're probably jealous.
are super jealous.
They're like,
they just
"Damn,
want to be,
why aren't
they
I
want to be
able
like
to
you
explore?"
so badly.
Yeah, so yeah, if you are questioning your sexuality and your sexual orientation and who you're interested in, like, I strongly urge you to explore that, to find a way, like go on a dating app, especially, like that's a really easy way for female-bodied people. Like in my experience, it's been so hard to see who's going to hit on who, because we're so used to, if you've always been hit on your whole life in a heteronormative culture, and then suddenly you've got to make the first moves. It can be so tricky, but like a dating app can be so useful, because you can already like find, you know, it's not so as common, so you can find all the queer people in your community easily and directly, and then you've got that kind of buffer of like, hey, like this is me, and you know, this is where I'm at. And if you are exploring, like be totally transparent with where you're at. Don't feel like you have to fake that you know what you're doing. Like it can create so much anxiety, so just be like, I haven't explored with people of the same sex, or if you're only been with the same sex, I haven't explored with anyone of the opposite sex, and I'm really interested in it. And yeah, I feel like dating apps can be really horrid, but like with everything, there's the light of dating apps, and that can be a really cool tool.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've totally been on both ends of that, of like being that person who hasn't explored before, and I did, you know, I felt like I had to communicate it, because I was like, if I don't, like, you're going to be so aware and receptive of this energy of a little bit of nervousness and clumsiness. I've also been on dates with people who've disclosed that, yeah, I'm their first male-bodied lover or partner, and it's like, whoa, like, glad you said that, because, like, not that...
doesn't change necessarily.
Doesn't change. It's like, it's just like good to be clear and transparent, because it's like you can understand each other so much better if you just like share like things that are on your mind, because otherwise you're gonna just be stuck in your mind the whole time.
Totally.
It's good to move down into your body, especially if you're exploring something that you need to
out.
feel what it's like, because the brain has been conditioned. The body is pretty intuitive.
Totally. And once it's all out of the brain, then you can get into like a true deep connection. Once it's all out there, journal, speak.
Yeah.
Cool.
And something else too that we've chatted about before is this. I've heard from people who are, let's say, male-bodied heterosexual friends talking to me, and they're like curious about where I'm at and what I've been exploring and what I've been up to, because they see me constantly going home with different partners, and they're like, whoa, like what is going on?
See our polyamory video a few videos back.
And safe, sane, consensual. And they're like, what are you, like, what are you doing with all these people? And I'm like, oh, like, well, have you tried it before? And they're like, no, like, or they're like, oh yeah, like, you know, I explored, like, I made out with a guy once, I just didn't feel a spark, and then never tried it again. And it's like, you know, like, I've made out with a female-bodied person and felt no spark. You know, like...
Same. I've made out with a female-bodied and a male-bodied person, felt no spark.
Absolutely.
It doesn't mean it's the whole sex is, like, cut out. Like, fair enough if you just know in your body and you're like, you know what, I'm only into the same sex, or I'm only into the opposite sex, yeah, cool. But if you've got something inside you being like, I want to explore, like, don't be put off if it's the first time it's like you don't feel anything. That, you know, it could be the mind, it could be the person, it could be where you're at, it could be so many different things. Like, yeah, definitely. It's such a good point. Like, I love that.
Yeah, the first time a male-bodied person kissed me, I was excited, because I'm like, I liked attention. I'm like, that's flattering. Like, someone wanted to kiss me. But then...
Of course I did.
But then, oh, thanks. But then I was like, but like, this is weird. This is like, that internalized homophobia. And I was like, that felt nice, but I was just there was still things to process and to work through. And I was like, I need to try that again. I need to think about what happened, try it again.
Cool.
Second time, you know, similar, but like better. And, you know, and then I'm approaching them, and I'm making out with them, and I'm having sex with them. And it's just like,
sweet.
it took me time, which is, it's so tricky because like in the queer world, like unfortunately, like it broke my heart when I found out that there was still separatism. You know, I thought it would be the utopia of everyone coming together, and it's like, no, there's still this like, oh, I'm more queer than you, or oh, you're just bisexual, I'm pansexual. It's like, we don't need to compare ourselves, like we're already so marginalized.
Yeah.
We need to stick together, but you know, we're doing our best. So I felt like that I had to have a traditional coming out experience of this or that, and it's like, you know what, like it took me a moment to get comfortable with the opposite sex, and then now I love it. So it's like, I don't know, like maybe I learned it or unlearned my conditioning.
I'd say that unlearned homosexuality has been around for a very, very long time.
Forever.
Yeah, I wanted to speak to also like how you don't have to, like if you're in a male body and you're like, yeah, but like I don't want to have anything in my butthole, like that's terrifying. That's okay. There's a collective fear and armoring surrounding anal pleasure. You don't have to have anything in your butthole. Like, unfortunately, there's like a very, like it's as though anal pleasure and having sex with another male-bodied person is inextricably woven with each other. It's like, no, that's not actually the case. They don't equal each other. You can totally make love with a male-bodied person and nothing go near your butthole. And if maybe in the future you're interested, because whether you're making love with females or males, like anal pleasure for male-bodied people is absolutely delicious. Jessie knows all about it.
Please talk to me about it.
Well, maybe that's another video, but
so good.
yeah, so you know, it's something that you can look forward to in the future, but there's no pressure. You don't have to have a big dick in your ass straight away. Like it's not. There are a lot of actually studies have shown that homosexual long-term partners, they're only around 30% have anal sex. So, you know, there's probably more heterosexual couples having anal pleasure and anal sex than homosexual couples. And that being said as well, if you're in a female body and you're like, I have no idea how to lick pussy, I've never done it, it's like I barely know my own, or, you know, that the same thing. You don't have to sex it. Sex can be making love through kissing. Sex can be touching, playing, cuddling, holding hands. You know, it doesn't have to just be that the most daunting experience because all you've done is one way. You're a male-bodied person, you're interested in women and you've never gone there. That's okay. She'll probably really appreciate you not going straight to the vulva and straight to the clitoris. You're probably going to be a gift. So don't let your fears stop you from exploration if that's something in your soul that you're really desiring.
So many awesome things in there. Wow.
So I feel like we covered a lot. How about you?
Yeah, I think we definitely did.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Let us know if you have any feedback, if you have any comments, if you want to share your experiences. We'd love to hear about, you know, in the comments below, other people are going to go in and they're going to read the comments, and you could help somebody by sharing your experience. You know, it's like, it's one thing that Jessie and I are sharing, but we're just two people. But if you share, that means that other people are like, oh, okay, so it's not just like Kristen who, like, you know, studied sexology and is fucking crazy to do with sexuality. No, like there are other people that are having experiences, and then you can share them, and then other people can see it and it can help support them. And you've probably had experiences I haven't had, and it really helps us to become a sex positive culture.
Absolutely. Yeah, sex positivity is everywhere. I studied art and design. I didn't study it. I've explored it.
And you're teaching us, so you can all teach us as well.
Absolutely.
Help each other, support each other.
Love to learn from you all.
Yeah. Much love. Ciao.